Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Living World of Darkness Rage Across New York. We find ourselves on the Sept of the Green in a not-so-little RV where it is pretty well known that Colin Edwards makes a home away from Packhouse. And in the bedroom so sparsely used, Colin lays, in one of those rare occasions, sleeping for about an hour. An alarm goes off, and all anyone outside or inside the RV can hear is technology, and it's worth noting this isn't his phone. This is like a separate $2 alarm clock that he grabs, and he can't quite grasp the concept of buttons right now, so he just starts smacking it against things. Off! You go, fucking thing! Eventually, one of the slams hits the snooze button. And he just kind of glumly starts racking buttons back and forth until he's pretty damn sure the alarm's not going to come on again. Okay, fucking spiders. And he gets up and he shuffles around in his little pajama pants and beat up tank top that's probably the sole survivor of a 5-pack. 10 point, why are you in my house?
Oh, good evening, Andre.
10 Point is, in fact, in Colin's house.
Because she likes it in Colin's house. There is nothing complicated in Colin's house. Even Colin's not very complicated. As such, yeah, he bumbles around in his gym jams, and there's just a menace chilling in his little dining nook, smoking through a cracked window.
Here, I need coffee, but let me take a drag of that.
And 10 Point will surrender her cigarette. Actually almost immediately start like moving to produce another from her bag.
He takes a hit and just kind of stops and blinks like, that is menthol. It was mentholated. That happened in my mouth. Oh wow, that is brisk. Okay, I'm making coffee. Come here, coffee maker. You know, I could have sworn that I had this thing. 10 point, I could have sworn that I had this thing on time. It just seems to change times now. One time it didn't even brew for like 20 minutes. The fucking, I'm about to go back to like an old school kettle and I'll just drink the fucking coffee grains. I don't give a shit.
Does he hold on to the cigarette?
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste it.
Fabulous. Yeah. 10 Point will be in the process of producing one and lighting it. And you know, she may be inside, but maybe it's because the window's cracked. Maybe it's because she's hiding a very faint smile, but she cups a hand over it and goes and gets the thing lit, taking that moment or two to compose herself before glancing aside. Oh, back at home, I just push the buttons to make it start. They can brew on times?
Yeah. I read the manual, but I wouldn't have accomplished it without the fucking manual.
Oh.
I don't count on it anymore though, because apparently it's on the fucking fritz. But hey, it's fine. That's good. Also, apparently a Will Ferrell movie is now just eternally jammed in the DVD player. Hope you like Step Brothers.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Depends on the person. He's a very polarizing actor.
Blank.
People either love it or hate it. 10 point.
If you say so. All right.
Oh god, I think it's the director's cut version too.
It's kind of a helpless shrug. Because let's face it, 10 Point can't help with any of these problems.
I'll eventually like call Shaga to come over here with a screwdriver or something and get it out.
I've been told you're not supposed to stick metal things into Weaver boxes. Unright, are you sure that's a good idea?
No, I mean like not into it. He's just gonna undo a couple of screws to like loosen things up so I can take the DVD out and put it back together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you have to take it apart every time you. Like-
I'll get that. And just Colin just shuffles over. He's even wearing a pair of Birkenstocks at this point. And he opens the door, and Helena, he had told her he wasn't going to show her his scars. A couple of them, most notably an exit wound where part of his shoulder should be, are pretty visible as he opens the door and just says, "Get in fast, it's cold. It is cold."
Hello. Ooh, okay. Uh, sure. And she just kind of like moseys on in and just sidestepping to the side there. It's not trying to squeeze up against him. And she's just kind of staring at the fucking bullet wound.
How did I live before I had a beard? As he shuts the door. Coffee's brewing. I just woke up.
Did you sure it's brewing?
Fuck.
Look,
He
look,
goes
look,
over.
look, look, look,
What?
look. I literally used to do this for a living, all right?
Oh,
See this
yeah.
button? Not this button, this one.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Man.
What?
Thank you.
You got this? Is this set on the timer?
It was once.
Why is it set for 2 hours?
Look, man. The electronics in this place have all suddenly revolted. I assume that either things are reaching the end of their half-life or I did something.
Yeah, you probably did. Oh well.
Yeah, it's
There's
just
a clear grin on her face as she just walks over to go sit down.
Colin's oblivious. Just yeah, Weaver stuff, man, and just does that. It's fucking complicated. Anyway, shit. And he just starts rummaging through his fridge. You're probably hungry. You built up a fucking laundry pile yet?
What?
From time to time, I understand that you're kind of living it rough right now, but you are going to have to wash those clothes.
Oh, I just keep getting new ones. I keep having accidents.
Ah, well, if
I
any of them survive,
Are you having them dedicated each time, Andre?
well, you did the first set, and I forgot which ones they were.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't help it.
I guess pick your favorite set, Andre.
Yeah, I will do it. Next time. All right.
Yeah, there's just kind of an idle nod and a vaguely concerned look, because it is, after all, quite cold out, and having her lose her clothing every time that she either jumps the gauntlet or shifts form, she's going to have a chilly time.
it's okay. But I know one thing is how to make this exact pasta and meat style thing. You can see Colin's kind of on autopilot now. This doesn't require much Weaver tech. So he seems to know what he's doing. Oh.
So, how's it going?
I haven't slept this much in a while. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, sleep is good though, right?
I guess. I don't know. After all this tension kind of built up around here, and once it was gone, I guess the bottom fell out of the box.
Yeah, sure. I get what you mean.
It's strange. I'd been hoping that perhaps, well, after all, it is a war and the world's ending and whatnot, but I'd been hoping for longer moments of peace, and now that we have one,
She kind of glances around, finally shrugs.
I'm not sure what to do with it.
Me either.
It has
Okay.
been nice to be able to go out more often.
You're telling me this this is the most you like haven't been fighting for, or what?
Yeah.
There's kind of a shrug and a nod.
There is still a thing that needs dealt with, alright, but yes, usually there's much more, and it's much more urgent.
He started, like, Colin starts doing that snapping his finger thing. The crab thing.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking crab thing. Why'd I forget about the fucking crab thing?
The crab thing?
Oh, yeah. There's some jackass out there currently turning people into crab monsters.
Hmm.
I believe Chloe Raya found a place, and Mariah and whoever goes with him, I suppose, are meant to go and scout it out. Proceeding an assault, of course.
Sounds like an Aiden type of plan, yeah.
Oh.
Well, we've seen what happens when we don't scout ahead.
And I'll never get that nipple back.
What?
Tipweed
yeah.
actually chokes. Like, she coughs up, like, lungfuls of smoke. He caught her, like, mid-draft.
Yeah, we got in a fight recently that was kind of a miracle more of us didn't die, but people lost things.
You lost a nipple.
Yup.
I don't know whether to laugh or to just I don't know. I really don't know.
I try to take things in stride, but my chest looks like someone held a magnifying glass to a Ken doll.
That's huh. Interesting.
It's
Okay.
something.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been worse, right?
Oh yeah, no, I saw a guy, he just flat out kind of got it in the face.
Oh,
He's all right now. I don't know how it reformed looking okay, but I guess it did.
A very
Oh.
enthusiastic mother's touch, I imagine.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
And there's a brief pause and a blink and a glance to the side.
We have spoken about the gifts of the spirits, haven't we?
Uh, no.
Oh, mother's touch is a skill that the spirit can gift to a guru. Usually they are just, and children of Gaia. Can't recall offhand who else might have that contract. But there are contracts made many, many, many generations ago. I imagine back before things were recorded. So based on what phase of the moon you hail to, or the breed that you've been born into, or even the tribe that you take up, there are spirits contracted that will teach you various gifts. Mother's Touch is able to heal an injured Guru. If one is willing to invest the power in it, it can heal a battle scar.
Takes a lot, though.
And it has to be done then, immediately in the wake of the battle. Once the wound is set, there is no fixing it.
Oh. I mean, that's pretty useful. Right?
There's like the mouth kind of opens and she starts to pull in a breath, and then she kind of glances over to Colin, and that helped me out here. Because, to her, it's a matter of course that scars are a point of pride and blah, but trying to explain it from a perspective she doesn't have is already awkward, and she hasn't even started.
In the nation, scars that you gain in battle or other such acts of valor are considered to be a matter of pride. Now, sometimes those scars can have other effects where pride to some wouldn't be considered worth it, such as losing an eye or a hand. And sometimes when all you have going on is something that's ultimately cosmetic, it's just fine to set where it is.
And 10 point, for the sake of explanation, will actually kind of reach back and hike up the back of her shirt just a bit. Nothing scandalous, just showing like the lower back and kind of blooming across the area where her kidneys surely reside. Is not really a bruise. It's distinctive. It's very distinctively some form of permanent discoloration, though it has a bruise-like tinge.
Oh. Okay, that's something. Hmm.
It is
Very-
something I can live with, and it is a mark of pride to be a survivor, Anrai.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I totally get it.
A skeptical glance, an openly skeptical glance, as she lets the shirt fall again once it's seen.
Now, when it comes to gifts, they can come in pretty handy. Just because of the nature of where they come from, I personally am not someone to use them lightly. They are pretty much what it says on the tin. They are gifts from spirits. Misusing them can sometimes anger the brood that they came from. There are many stories of Guru who, by some act in the course of using their gift, have angered spirits to the point where that brood, if not the spirit itself, required some form of contrition. A thing that can be done, but still, it's better to be safe. That's why I'm not giving you a demonstration right now.
And 10 point is nodding along for what it's worth.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I get that. That's fair. Huh. All right.
Has you said pasta. Does that mean Colin has pulled out a pot and set it aside to put water in,
Oh, yeah.
just for convenience's sake?
Yeah.
It occurs to me that this says success, but I did not note the difficulty because I am a sinner. But all the same, I am going to set this up and roll it real fast.
I already set it up for you.
My hero.
Oh, you
What?
doing what I think you're gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What?
What is the roll? It is Gnosis, and you spend one first. Let me quickly look this up. Whatever. I will go with standard diff because I have no idea what it is.
Hey.
So yeah, 10 point for the sake of example. We'll kind of glance around, set eyes on the pot, and well, here's hoping it was sitting in the sink or near the sink, perhaps, or there's an excess. Actually, I don't know how much control she has over that, but yeah, 10 point for the sake of example. We'll turn about, set eyes on the pot, and more for the sake of the cub than because the gesture is necessary, we'll make kind of a broad gesture in the appropriate direction. At which point, we'll say roughly 2 cubic feet of water appear in the pot, mostly.
Oh,
Mostly.
my shit.
Ah,
He Colin pulls away the tap and tries to deal with this newfound situation.
His sink might be ever so slightly full. That's
it's.
a thing.
I mean, that's gonna stain.
It'll be alright.
Here's the real question. Oh, actually, just for fun, do you have Primal Urge, Tom?
Yes.
Would you like to roll Perception Primal Urge?
Sure. I like rolling dice. Boom.
Yeah, that is 2 successes. So yeah, there's kind of this this weird kind of spidey sense sensation that she'll get as it happens, as the water appears, as the gift is activated. There will definitely be the sense of a thing just happened, and I want to say with 2 successes, you even get a slight kind of area of effect, as in like there's something happening and it's on that side of you. So I mean, she's already looking, but it must be a little weird to feel the ping go off and to kind of know it happened.
Yeah, she kind of looks at the whole situation, more surprised at the fact that there's water there. Then it kind of dawns on her that, like, oh wait, there's, huh? What? What was that?
A gift.
A
One
gift?
accessible in particular to my breed.
Oh,
You can create a certain amount of a given element. Fire, water, earth, even air.
oh, that's useful for making pasta. Sweet.
Decidedly useful for setting things on fire, for producing air in an airtight environment. More useful than you'd think, Andre.
Oh, I get that. It's just I'm not the whole down with the throwing fire at people.
Admittedly not my preferred use, but very effective when necessary.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Hmm. All right. Okay.
What about you, Helena? You
What? Hmm?
come here with any questions?
Oh, you said you wanted to see me again, so I just turned up.
Colin looks very, I don't know, cheerful and full of mirth for a second there. I did.
See, I remembered something.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
So, yeah, here I am. And just gives a pretty, like, the most innocent, broad smile you can imagine.
You getting along with the other cubs?
Oh, I want to say yeah, but would you believe me if I said yeah?
Well, I'd like to ask you exactly how you stayed on Desmond's good side.
I'm think I have. I don't know. He wants to beat the shit out of me, though. I know that.
He wants to
And
beat the shit
eyebrow
out of everybody.
quirks.
Well, yeah, I get that. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen someday. So I'm gonna go spar him in a bit. Should be interesting. I mean, what's his, uh, James? No, Jack.
Jason.
Jason. Jason's pretty cool. I like Jason.
We all like Jason, I think.
Yeah, he was showing me a few things this morning.
His first change was very difficult, but he's taken
I
to life well.
Yeah, military background. He said it had some similarities. So yeah, he's a nice guy.
First, I was very, very concerned that he was not going to get past what made him what he is today. But seems like a time has come and gone.
Whoa, what did you mean?
Colin kind of sighs as he dumps the pasta into the pot. He's browning the meat. The first change can be difficult, traumatic. It's very rare that blood is not shed, at least amongst lupus and homage. Some people, well, a lot of us anyway, manage to get past that, at least in part, enough to function. But you hear stories of cubs that never did. Maybe their minds could never handle the realities of our lifestyle. Maybe they'd already had too much heaped on to them, and first change was simply the straw that broke the camel's back. But they come out the other side unable to deal with what they've done, unable to deal with the realities of our lives.
Oh,
The
well,
Bonars take those,
mm,
and sometimes my tribe when we can afford to.
well, I mean, I've been helping him talk a few things out.
Good.
Well, I don't like seeing people suffer like that. It's not nice.
It's not.
Senpai has noticed you.
What?
You're getting an approving look from Colin.
He's obviously we've all got issues. It's just what it is. But if I can be there to help people out, that's what I do, you know? Plus, in a world full of giant hulking murder machine, somebody's got to take care of him, right?
By now, 10 Point is also offering approving nods.
Just so?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad I'm not just crazy for thinking that. That's good to know. Oh,
No. We are creatures of rage. And it is important that there are those there to keep the others balanced. It's extremely important. And it is a role that is too often overlooked.
Or that falls on kinfolk.
There's a nod there.
who?
Remember when I spoke of people that share our blood but aren't? Yes.
Yep. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, emotional support tends to be one of the types of support that they will offer from time to time. Something I think is probably very, very nerve-wracking for them, considering what we are.
You can imagine somebody like me trying to talk down a 9-foot murder machine. I mean,
Even if we're not already taking those shapes, one must consider that a kinfolk can only do so much. And if we are volatile, and they try to talk us down, and they do so wrong, it can cause a frenzy. And even carelessly lashing out, while we can heal, the kinfolk cannot. They are like humans in that. Or like wolves. Things that we can brush off, things that we can heal in a day, can cripple them for life. It's harrowing. And that is why we treasure them.
huh.
You hear horror stories sometimes. Things that have gone wrong. There's definitely more than one first change that has ended in the death of parents, siblings, lovers.
Yeah. I can imagine. I guess that's my my one piece of luck.
And Colin looks at 10 Point. Yours wasn't very violent, was it?
Point kind of startles. And mid-draw on the cigarette kind of sucks in a breath and starts coughing. Though she kind of shakes her head as she starts kind of thumping her own chest and trying to even out her breathing again. Though when she finally can speak, it's just kind of a no. No, not.
Yeah, that's right. Metis. Shit. Sorry.
I want a penny of that.
Which one?
I'm doing that.
Oh, okay.
I gotta roll. I'm doing that.
Gonna roll some things.
I'm gonna roll some things. 6. Boom. Oh, I need 2. Fuck. On 10
I mean, it's still
point
2
level.
successes, and she's a little startled and not really like you can't subterfuge hacking up half a lung as a result of an awkward question. With a moment to mull over it, it may occur to Helena that when your natural form is the war form, a first change can be eventful in any number of ways. Because, yeah, chances are she either shifted to Hamid or to Lupus.
Huh. Oh. 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 Okay.
And I, as Colin has finally made up the dishes and passed them out, well, I guess you could call me lucky in some ways. Didn't kill anybody I knew.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say to that.
Not much to say about it.
You're right.
During your time here, you are going to respond to first changes. And more times than not, you are going to walk into a room with the remains of someone who, like as not, did nothing worthy of death, if anything at all.
At that point, Tim Pointa, who welcomed the distraction of food and has immediately taken to poking at it and fixating on that, kind of picks her head up and glances aside.
Rarely is a frenzy unprovoked, Unrai.
I know that the people I did in didn't deserve to die.
Yeah, I'm back to poking at that there bowl of pasta.
She's not wrong, though. A lot of times it'll be an escalated situation. And sometimes, yeah, whoever it was might have actually had it coming.
Mm.
It's not for us to judge, but it is for you to be ready for, so that you're not distracted.
No. No.
Especially if you mean to care for your future setmates, Unrai. You'll have to be able to tune out what you're surrounded by if you mean to bring that cub back. And to bring them back understanding that this place is better for them than what's out there.
Little known fact, when we found Jason doesn't remember this because, well, the Berserker Rage had taken him. But Jason, by himself, beat down me, another Arun of the Get of Fenris named Dallas. How many other people did he nearly knock out 10 point?
Tim Point is still poking idly at the contents of the bowl, though she ponders on it for a second. 4, maybe 5 of us? That poor china cabinet. Poke, poke, poke.
Yeah, I had to pick part of that out of my hip later.
Huh. That explains a lot. That explains a lot.
It truly was impressive.
Dallas was fuming for days.
Throwing off 2 Arons is no small task. Throwing off 4 or 5 attempted attacks from fully fledged Garu is, yeah, nothing small, especially for a fresh changed cub.
Threw us around like rag dolls. I laugh about it.
Hmm. Yeah. That's impressive. Okay. Look, I don't know what I'm supposed to say about that. That's
We're doing what guru like us do. We've got a cub, and the information just comes flying out. Believe it or not, I'm not very talkative in other situations.
why not?
I don't know. I just always kind of live most of my life inside my head.
Well, so do I. It's just A lot of things that are inside my head all jumbled up.
Hmm.
So how come from what I see, not many cubs come out here, right?
You guys tend to come around here in ones and twos when you get the
Usually.
time.
Or do you mean the sept as a whole?
I don't know. I'm trying to be not awkward, I guess. What?
Wiz and Guru tend to say that cubs have a way of appearing when they're needed. Usually, you can expect many first changes to occur after a rash of deaths.
Oh. Right. I mean, that makes sense and all. You know, with the whole the I know
Gaia
what I
knows
mean.
what is needed.
I know what I mean.
Yeah. I will say, though, in terms of unknowing kin and the cubs that come of them, I have never seen anything like New York.
What do you mean?
In most places, kinfolk populations are kept very strict track of. Like we said, they're more vulnerable than we are, but our enemies don't care. So these
Pinpoint's nodding along in the background.
communities are kept very close. They're kept in varying amounts of knowledge, and they're kept very strict track of. So that if something goes wrong, the guru of that sept can respond very fast. But here it's chaotic.
Well,
Too many people in too small a space, Monray.
There's like an accusatory glance out the window of the RV, probably at the city line or the
well,
skyline.
I guess there's a lot of people in my situation, you know? Yeah, just not knowing about any of this at all. But I'm not from New York, so people come here to do whatever. And oh, look, now you're a 9-foot tall murder machine. Looks like you're staying for a while.
I will say this. Whoever developed the network of kin fetches that preside over New York was a genius and probably one of the great unsung heroes of our time.
They are very attentive, even when unbound, aren't they?
Yes.
I wonder if there's some sort of concord struck.
Kind of adopts a thoughtful frown, keeps eating.
Huh.
Monray, back home, it's also very different. We keep the kin very close. The Fianna as a tribe are known for keeping their kin near and dear. They are a family. If a family was to move from one city to another, from the protectorate of one sept to that of another, even that movement would be spoken of.
That was weird.
Bob, can you check the door, please? So while a family might leave the area of one sept, the sept closest to which they were moving would be made aware, and they would probably present themselves at the sept. It is very strange to think that here, your parents might move from place to place and go suddenly missing, unrecorded, unwatched. It's dangerous. There are things out there who can sense the difference between a normal human and our kin. Or a normal wolf and her kin. So having them unknown to the nearest sept, unremarked and unprotected is, in a way, unforgivable. They're just too vulnerable.
Which is why I'm trying to figure out how, this happened with me. You know what I mean? It's just...
There's an immediate nod of agreement.
Like, yeah, I'm from far enough away, but nothing was ever said. I never knew anything about this. Anything.
There are those who are reared without knowing, and it's not but so uncommon, but your parents should have been known. Are they still in the city?
And you'll see almost quite a worried look across her face.
I used to get calls every weekend until, this happened, and I haven't heard anything since.
Is that because you don't have the means to contact them?
No. I have my phone. It's just that I call and I get no answer, and I don't get anything back.
And Tim will cast a glance aside to Colin in some concern, and will gesture vaguely towards her side.
Take out your notebook. Write for me where they stay. Write down their names. We will check on them.
I mean, it's a long way.
How far? Are they inside New York?
No. Oh, no. You know where Hamilton is?
Tim can't cast a glance over to Colin for reference because no, she has
Colin knows
zero.
shit.
You don't know.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it's it's not really far, but it's pretty far. It's in Canada, first of all.
And Colin looks over at 10 Point. That's a lot of Wendigo territory.
Still, if we know the place and we have the names, someone from the nearest sept could be sent to check. You don't get Guru out of nothing. Their kin, at least.
Fair.
She takes the notebook and writes down names and address. She rips up the paper and just slides it across.
And Tim will probably reach for it, glancing to Colin, though she'll pause, basically with her fingers hovering over it.
Do you have any better contacts than I might?
No. No, the people that I talk to, they'd be the type who could help us find somebody in the city.
And at the very least, I may know a few Wendigo who'd be willing to do me a favor.
That gets like a look from Colin, like, what?
10 Point does not at all look even the slightest bit smug. Because let's be fair, that's pretty, yeah, that's about the response you'd expect of a Fianna saying something like that. But, yeah, she'll, slide that paper into her swag.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
For what it's worth, lost cubs do seem to be much more common here than anywhere I've ever seen. You're not the only one. I can't. She kind of pauses, squinting. I can't think of a single one of the cubs currently who knew anything going in.
Desmond, maybe?
No, I don't think he was aware.
Huh. Could have sworn.
If he was knowing, I don't think he'd get up to the antics he does.
Yes and no. Sometimes, knowing kin, when they become guru, they realize what's open to them. Changes their behavior.
Huh. All right, okay.
Either way, this will get taken care of. Probably not much to worry about, but it's worth checking.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
Now, keep in mind, when you become a rank guru, and this is you and me talking about how things work in the rest of the nation, not here in the Sept. Unless there's another guru higher rank in your bloodline who has already taken responsibility, whether they continue to reside up in Canada or they come down. Well, actually, things would change if they came down to join you here. You're going to be held responsible for everything that they do or fail to do.
Oh shit. Uh, hmm. That's something. Okay.
Now, things do work pretty radically different down here. Kinfolk have a lot more political power. They have a lot more in the way of guarantees from us. It's a very different relationship. But in the nation as a whole, things can get very hierarchical and very feudal. So whereas we would see you and your mom and your dad as three separate entities, their own responsibilities, the nation would see just you, and only you, as the responsible party. You would do all of their advocating, you would do all of their answering, and you would take any punishment leveled.
Oh, that's okay.
10 Point is casting Colin something of a vaguely I don't know if perturbed is quite the word. Look.
Alright, don't. For once, she would. Honor, if these kin are unremarked by the nation, I doubt that she will be held responsible for anything. But more importantly, don't look at the kin as a burden. There are some things that kin can do that we cannot. You will find that if you were in schooling before you came here, it'd be very hard to return to it. You'll find that if you had a human job before you came here, it would be very hard to return to it. Our kin can walk among the city. They can hold down normal jobs. They can influence what happens in the city and use their work to aid us. I have claimed a number of kin of my own, and I regret none of them, even those who can do only so much to help me in return. It does them good to know that there's someone watching over them, that we are keeping an eye, that we are keeping them safe, and that if ever there is conflict with another guru, there's someone who will stand up for them. The kin are a wonderful boon.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's just a lot to take in again.
Still not understanding.
If it's reassuring at all.
She kind of grins faintly, looking down at the pasta for a moment.
The first kin that I offered claim to, he is very, very advanced in age, and very wise, but, well, he's no longer of an age where he's being looked to as a potential source of the future. And whoever might have claimed him in the past is long gone. But he is still a comfort to talk to. He still delights in seeing me. And he's still learned many, many things in all his years. He's a very good man. It doesn't have to be about social pressure. But now there's someone looking after him. He can't do but so much besides tell me his stories and tell me what he knows. But with the other kinfolk that I have come into contact with and bonded with, I am able to get a hold of enough money to make sure that he lives comfortably. It does my heart good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I can. I like that.
She gives a firm little nod.
Colin's just over there like, what about me and my dour sense of duty?
Is he making a pouty face?
He's making a Colin face.
Yeah, close enough.
Well, kinfolk are part of what we fight for.
Yeah, that list is ever growing, it seems.
They are things worth defending, Onrai. I may not wish to fight. I may not always want to fight. But there are some things that must be defended.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, I don't want to fight, but like I said, I owe it to the fox.
Wanted to go to a liberal arts school. study literature.
Link.
Why didn't you? This?
A lot of things about being kinfolk got in the way of me doing too well in school.
Oh,
It's really hard to study things or even show up on time when you spent the whole night trying to make sure that someone didn't bleed out from a silver wound, or you spent the whole night running around picking things up after the GRU had gone because you didn't want the police to keep track of what was going on, anything like that. So I didn't do that great in high school. And I figured, man, that like I could go to a community college or something, kind of build up to it, right? You know, work a shit job on the side and just kind of deal. You know, my pace. Maybe I'd get that degree when I was 30, but I was gonna fucking get it, right? And then I first changed, and that was closed to me forever.
well, I mean, if you're still interested, are you still interested in doing that?
I read a lot. Try to at least get the knowledge in my head.
I mean, I could sit down with you and go through it.
The reason that I consider it closed forever, more so than just getting the knowledge in there, which is a fine hobby. Because when you are one of us, the entire point of your existence is to perpetuate this war. You fight, and then finally, you die.
10
And if
points.
you did both right,
lips.
existence continues.
10 points lips have firmed into a line. She's affixing Colin with a pretty steady look.
Colin looks the most sure saying this than he ever has saying words in the mouth. That was the shittiest way I could phrase that.
Oh,
Colin, you are
no, I
a
get it.
child of Gaia. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yes.
She finally gives her head a shake and apparently decides that she is too sober for this. As she proceeds to just get herself up, she has learned where things are in Cullen's home by now, and she invites herself to his liquor cabinet. And whatever the hell is foremost on the shelf, that isn't like some ridiculous candy-ass liqueur, is just getting snagged.
He has such a fucking schnapps collection, though.
She is not drinking schnapps. She is
Like,
drinking something much harder than schnapps.
He has flavors of schnapps that you didn't even think fucking existed. There's like a bottle of lychee in there.
That is in fact a thing, and I've seen it. But that is not what she is going for. Whatever is high proof and within easy reach, and she will even be polite and grab a glass at the same time. But she will just be shaking her head as she goes back to the table and pours herself one because fuck it.
I just want to help. Fine. And then I just start stuffing pasta in her face.
And that's good. I'm
You
glad.
will.
Not a point.
Tempoint is giving Colin the look what you did face.
Listen, I know I sound weird. Okay. I don't know why, but
Depressing,
know.
Colin. The word you're looking for is depressing.
Okay, Colin, let me put it this way. What would Fox think if you thought like that?
So long as I honor Fox, keep to his bands, and never speak ill of him, I imagine we will be fine.
10 Point's eyebrows have done a slight pop. She is now far more interested and far more quiet.
I get it. It's the sense of duty, right? But whereas you see, or at least what I'm seeing that you see, is just a spirit. One that's looking over you. It's family. It might not look like it, but it to me, it's a living, breathing creature. And it has thoughts, it has feelings. Yeah, it acts in a way that Gaia wants it to, but if you go around spreading like that, especially to people, that doesn't ring in with the teasing playfulness of the fox now, does it?
Tennis face over to Colin.
The hamster's going. Fox also values survival and cunning, which requires a dose of realism from time to time.
He does. But he is also a witty, light-hearted spirit that likes to teach through teasing. So I hope you enjoy your epic marathon of stepbrothers. Eventually you'll learn the lesson. Smiles.
The hamster is going again. Like, Colin is attempting to load.
10 Point is attempting not to smile. I'll roll my epic subterfuge.
He kind of like closes his eyes here as he's trying to really envision you can almost see the flow chart forming. Like in all the little like mathematical charts going around his head. I wish I had that GIF on hand.
Yep, I know exactly which one. Helena's just sat there with the sweetest, most innocent smile you could ever imagine on her face.
Oh, I got one success. She is not smiling.
And Colin face palms. Stares accusingly at the DVD player. Double face palms. Into a rolling sigh. Hmm. Hmm. You know, I don't even remember purchasing Step Brothers.
No. I'm glad you caught on to that bit. But go on.
Survival in the city may at some point require me to become more intimately aware of technology. Well played. And for the record, Step Brothers isn't a bad movie.
No. But what's the lesson you take from this? Because, yeah, It's funny. But you gotta learn. Or else there's no point in doing any of this.
Learning part comes after because I'm going to have to learn how to maintain and otherwise operate, disassemble, and reassemble pretty much everything here in order to get it functioning again.
All right, then. I can see this is going straight through one ear and out the other. Helena stands and she walks over to the DVD player, taps it. I get it. You gotta be more lighthearted. Embrace it, you know? You're essentially under his protection now, right? He's not gonna want somebody who's as grim-faced as that all the time. Well, it's just no fun.
Tempoint is going to helpfully lean over alongside Colin. Stop being so practical and think about it again.
Colin.exe has failed to run.
Tempoint's proud face, however, is over 9,000.
So, well, you'll be watching Step Brothers for the next, until I decide I want to take this out. Because I do know how to do it. It's not that hard. You're going to be sat here drinking your coffee eventually, 2 hours late, on your, well, TV that hasn't been plugged in properly for about a week. Eventually your fridge will cool down and stuff will defrost. Not to mention the chicken that was missing out of it. I'm sorry about that, by the way.
It went to a good cause.
It did. It always does. Eventually you should realize, I guess I'm cheating a bit by explaining this, but 2 little lessons. 1, cheer the fuck up. Fox is lighthearted and teasing. As long as there is a lesson involved and nothing is off the table. You've got to learn to survive. It's the way you teach it is what makes Fox unique. That, and you gotta remember to lock your door.
Alright, 10-point breaks. She finally just kind of like with a snort starts laughing, clasping a hand over her mouth.
There's a long silence. I have been in this my entire life. My entire life. I was told who I was going to be from the day that I could understand words. Maybe before that. And since that day, I have seen nothing but death. Nothing. My next door neighbors, I carried their bodies down from a mountain myself. All my friends. Fucking dead. People I didn't know. Plucked right out from next to me. Here, let me show you my fucking favorite one. He lifts up his shirt and on his side, Helena can see like kind of these speckles of scar tissue, like a spread. The jackass who did this, I think I'd just been packed, blew my alpha's fucking head off. I'm lucky he didn't kill me. First day as a Cleoth. First day. The guy who did this one, and he points to his shoulder, killed our third. He was a great shot. Also screamed in a pitch higher than I care to fucking recall when I got to him. One by one, little fucking mistakes, little slip-ups. Because me and my buddies, we love to laugh. Killed them all, and it was just me. And, you know, I've said so much about how, like, I just wanted to see something more sensible. But I kind of knew what I was driving into when I came here. I just didn't want to sit there and get reminded of all my dead fucking friends every second of every fucking day, Helena. I've known nothing but sense of purpose. I have known nothing but duty. There is no other point to our fucking existence. And if I am lucky, maybe there is a greener pasture after I finally draw my last breath. But until that day, I will scream and fight and bleed and probably die in a horrific way. And 6 months later, no one will remember I ever lived. Because I'm in a rune. And we die all the time.
Honor, that's enough.
Yeah, it is. And Colin storms out into the cold, completely unprepared. Like, look at him. His nipple is going to be able to cut glass.
Damn it, you ruined it.
But life in every breath.
And as Colin storms out in his gym jams,
And like a pair of Birkenstocks.
10 Point will get up and somewhat gingerly, almost as though she's afraid of spooking her, will come over to Helena and offer out an arm, essentially lifting it to offer solace if she wants it.
She just slumps down to sit down.
It's important. It's critically important. And you've hit a nerve. But you can't teach this lesson without hitting nerves. He's an Arun. He's going to lash out. Mariah, he's a Ragabash. And still, when it gets too close, when it gets too personal, he lashes out too. Don't be discouraged. It will take time to make something this important sink in, especially when he can't understand it right now.
She just nods very almost shallowly, like small, a few nods. You can clearly see that tears are running down her cheek at this point.
And while 10 Point won't force personal interaction on her, she will come over and sit next to her and slide down.
You aren't wrong. He's hurting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And oh god, she can't resist the tears. She does finally loop an arm around her and pulls her in very briefly, kind of tucking her under her chin for at least half a moment, though she will loosen up the hold if there's even the slightest squirm
or protest, tensing, anything really. But she can't help but reach out and pull the cub in and try to offer her some comfort.
Yeah, she doesn't resist at all. She just bowls.
Oh no. You feel for him and it's important. It's a good lesson. I'm sure Fox is proud of you.
And she pulls her in and just holds her on, holds her in tightly. And she'll keep holding her there until she calms down some. She'll let her cry it out.
Eventually, Colin's back, and all you can hear. Forgot my cigarettes. Forgot my coat. Forgot. Oh, don't even have my phone. Shaga calls. Shaga always calls. It's always something to do. Door sticking. Why are you sticking door? And you can also just hear him because his window is still kind of cracked a little bit. This is a test from Fox. I have to outsmart this door. Okay. Now, if I didn't want to completely rip this door off the hinges, but it's stuck. Shit, is there like a stick or something? I feel like I could do this with a stick. This is like a stick. Okay, so I poke around in here. You all are just getting the live studio audience version of this too.
I mean, he can hear Helena crying in there. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Oh, yeah, somewhere in the middle of, like, I can hear him trying to like jam the stick places the stick shouldn't even go.
God damn it, Bob.
Shit. This isn't gonna work. And there's people in there, and they're upset. Colin just sits down on the pavement like an adult.
I'm not trying to decide how mature 10 Point is right now. I'm also trying to decide if that would cause things to explode. I'm pretty sure it would.
Do it. You know you want to.
That's
Do
how
it.
Colin lost the RV.
You won't lose the RV. You'll just get the shit scared out of you. Now let's play scare the shit out of Colin.
I like how in this overlay he looks like appropriately chilly.
I really need to look up this gift real fast. Hold on.
No. Oh no.
Don't worry, buddy. I wouldn't do anything you'd hate me for.
Help me! Oh my god!
You're the one who decided the door was sticking.
I was.
Did this to yourself. That is not the book I want. Oh my god.
I am scared to ask.
I went looking for the W20 book. I opened the Skinner book. That is not the book I want. It's not even remotely the book I want. I really need to know what the difficulty for this gift is.
Oh no!
Fine.
Everything's fine.
Okay.
Each success, da, 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 da. It doesn't specify. But I'm gonna assume standard and be an asshole. Oh, you're lucky. She fails.
Okay.
10 point burns another point of gnosis out of spite.
Oh
Thankfully, it
no!
doesn't manifest. Point is still cradling Fox Kit.
Still crying.
And hopes to God that Colin can be at least 25% smarter than the door.
Colin's out there making gravel angels till the crying stops.
10 point will wait for a pause. She will not loudly point out the fact that there are many doors into this RV and the one he has selected is only one. She will instead wait until Helena calms down at least a little bit and says, just, I'll be back. Just give me 1 second. And she proceeds to go to this chosen door and proceeds to click the handle, give it a try, and when it sticks, proceeds to click the handle, hold it up, and apply her foot to the problem like a good violent guru.
Colin sits right the fuck up.
You. In.
That is a direct order from a foster, and he does have to comply.
And she promptly leaves the doorway and returns right back to where she was. Gathering sad puppy up.
She's just on the floor.
Aww. She pulls her up and actually, very much like she has done to at least one other person in the past, will actually go so far as to bundle Helena up into her lap, kind of, curling her across it, holding her so that she can lean against her chest. Sets her back to whatever cabinet or shenaniganery happens to be behind her.
I mean, she ain't stopping. She's calming down, but she ain't stopping.
She is committed to this cry.
Hey, she really upset her. She worked so hard on this. You just went and go, boom, poof. You kicked the puppy, Bob. You kicked the puppy.
Wouldn't be the first time.
You didn't just kick the puppy, Bob.
No.
You kicked the puppy with cleats. You bastard.
Oh my god, I wasn't ready.
So bad. I don't know. Okay, so Bob is an unempathetic monster, but Colin has thoughts and empathy. He is now stuck in a tight space with the results of his actions. He looks very helpless in this scenario. Much like someone who forgot to wear shoes and realized the floor is covered in Legos. And also like those people, mostly me, several times throughout my life. Just kind of sucks it up and walks on the Legos. And sits down next to the puppy puddle. Gathers her up. Sets her back down in not the floor. Should mostly be like his lap, I guess.
10 point will surrender the puppy out of her lap to his. Though he is getting so much. 10 point's never gotten but so attached to so many people. And let's face it, whatever her attachment is to Aiden, it rarely manifests in a very visible way. The mom glare of if you break it anymore, I will fucking cut you is so real right now as she allows him to scoop the puppy out of her lap.
He's not looking at 10 point. Not looking at 10
You
point.
can. I will roll to make you feel this glare.
Oh,
I
he
swear to
knows.
God.
He knows. But have you ever met a glare like that head on? I haven't.
You're a smart man.
Go on.
Colin at this point looks like someone who had an idea, but it's a lot like when you make decisions like, I'm going to make pizza from scratch. And then you're kind of like up there with the reality of your plan, and things are not going as planned. So, he's got this crying woman just kind of bundled up in his lap. Sisma. Yeah, he caught the car. He doesn't know what to do with it.
He's very lucky that 10 point isn't in his head right now. So lucky.
And that there is some time that goes on like that. Eventually. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry.
What?
I can be an asshole. Actually very good at it. And I'm sorry.
No. It's fine. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to piss you off.
I don't think anybody does, because, well, we're at least partially human, okay? I don't think anybody just kind of goes out there and tries to do that. We also have rage, which humans don't have, I hope. Shit happens. You did the right thing. I'm pretty sure it would take sabotaging an entire RV to make me less stubborn. It also turns out I'm really stubborn, which I'm working on, because Fox deserves honor and respect.
Just wanted to help.
I know. And honestly, probably going to learn a lot as I, deal with all these appliances going on the fritz. It's good. Could probably save our lives one day. That's helping. That's good.
Colin, has it occurred to you that Fox might want you to do more than just barely survive?
So you ever listen to a computer when you ask it to do a lot at once?
You could hear the dial-up.
Yeah, like the computer noise. Yes. So Colin doesn't quite make those noises, but he really is personifying them.
Colin, survived is not simply mean just barely scrape by. You can survive and flourish. You can survive and be happy that you're surviving. It wasn't a complex lesson.
I am not a clever man.
If you want gritty survival, perhaps you should have appealed to a spirit of rat's brood, as opposed to one of stags.
Temboy can clearly see that this like literally never ever occurred to him.
10-Point is trying so hard to be patient. But he broke the baby Theurge. But she's trying so hard. And he can, like, just as she can see that he's trying to wrap his brain around this, she's trying very, very hard not to completely and entirely lose her patience and call down all manner of spirit notoriety out of frustration.
So, what now?
So now, if you truly mean to follow Fox, who does a good bit more than simply survive, Colin, consider listening more closely and with a more open mind to the Theurge tied closest to your totem. She may be fresh, and she may be new, and she may be learning. But I cannot fault her understanding of Fox in any way. She has made you a shrine, and she has tried to teach you in the name of the spirit that you are asking for patronage. It's a good lesson. It's an important lesson. Fox is of Stag's brood.
She finally cracks it's a bit of a forced one, but the faintest sort of smile.
And we do a hell of a lot more than survive, Colin.
Colin face. Just
Has Helena calmed down at all? Is she at least like the hiccup stage?
She's calmed down. She stopped crying, but she's just wiping her eyes with the very oversized hoodie that she's wearing. But you can see her eyes are like bright red.
Does she ugly cry? Like, not as in like the really creepy thing, but like as in like all splotchy and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got like all red eyes. You can see like almost like the tear lines going down her cheeks, but that's about it.
Expectant stare forever. Colin cannot rest on his Colin face forever.
I understand what you're trying to say. I don't think that I am going to be a different man overnight.
I don't think any of us expect you to be. And even Fox will respect that your life has been hard and has made you the way that you are. But you'll do more than survive. You will adapt.
Eventually, yes.
She's finally gonna reach out and, in a strangely just relaxed gesture, considering how 10 Point, even with her friends, is generally leery of just casual touching, nonetheless reaches out and gives him just a touch firm of a pat on the cheek.
Try to remember how to smile, Colin.
I think I laughed like once. I was pretty drunk. You should have seen what was it? Camille, I think her name is.
Blink.
Glasswalker at the age.
Ah, yes.
She came to Felix's, I guess wake would be the wrong thing to say. It was a stargazer ritual of some sort. Proper. Carlani was very knowledgeable, but we were drunk. Saoirse was there. And I do not know why people look to unicorns brewed for recreational herbs. I don't. But she decided to ask me. And I decided today was going to be a pretty good day to put on a show. Oh, I started drumming up thunder. And around the time I broke character, the look on her face was just priceless.
I don't get it.
I started yelling all kinds of shit about like, who do you think I am? We're proper straight edge guru, that kind of shit. And she started freaking out. She thought she'd actually upset me, and I couldn't keep it up. I started laughing.
In her defense, you did produce a pillowcase full of weed.
Was she there for that?
Well, no. But it's not exactly a wrong assumption.
They're used in rites from time to time. It's important.
Skeptical face.
Colin looks 100% serious.
Do you know those rights, Colin?
No,
My point stands.
it was a care package.
My point still stands.
A really big
She
care
wasn't
package.
wrong.
I mean, we have other medicinal things that we produce.
Mm-hmm.
I know that in my sept we had some award-winning rutabagas. Took them to a fair and everything. It was a big deal.
You know that meme with the dude who like holds up a finger with his mouth open and then deflates?
Yeah.
She kind of does that at the mention of rutabagas.
I think somebody grew them down the street. He was really proud too, and we were all kind of proud of him. And I don't know. The Shadow Lord Kin were just kind of staring. Grandfather Thunder's children take too much shit.
Link.
Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know what kind of circles you traveled in, but I don't know. They can be harsh. That's true. It's true. My dead father was a Shadow Lord. They can be really harsh, but I don't think they deserve even a tenth of the kind of talk that goes around them. They work hard. If they say something, they're going to live up to their word. It's a serious matter for them. They deserve respect.
All right. The 10 point starts getting herself up. And essentially does the hold out her arms like, give me the baby. Like like straight up, like, pass me the small child.
Colin, at his strength level, very easily passes over the entire adult human.
She's 5'4", by the way.
Very easily passes over the entire adult human.
10 point may not be the strongest, but let's face it, Helena's tiny. And 10 point is not the strongest of Guru, but she is bigger than Helena. So 10 point is going to take the fox kit. I'm going to save you from your, well, this. But think on what she's tried to teach you, Lonray. I don't expect change in one night. Fox doesn't expect change in one night. I don't think even she does. But it was a good lesson. And she gives Helena a slight heft, are going to go have a talk down by the lake.
I'm going to get drunk and watch Step Brothers in Spanish.
You can.
Oh, disabled the language thing too?
You can get Chinese subtitles. You're welcome.
I'm going to try it.
And 10 point, who is perplexed as to why he would want to watch it in Spanish, but really doesn't have the nerve to ask right now, is going to offer Colin a nod. Because you know what? Sitting there and drinking and watching the silly movie seems like a good solution. And we'll proceed, unless Helena's going to offer some serious complaint, to tromp off with the babby. Because we're going to go see Papa Aiden.
Oh, okay. No, she doesn't mind. She ain't doing shit.
Yep.
She's being all sad and shit, so
She essentially gets, baby girl carried the whole way and loved on because 10 Point is already too attached. Ugh, why you hurt me like this? So I think for now, this is the perfect place to end this particular scene.
I got this.
Oh boy.
Watchers, thank you for watching. Players, thank you for playing. Amachan, we didn't burn down the venue, but we'll see you next time in another edition of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across Wolf Arrow's Career.